Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me this afternoon. We're snowed in here. It's been snowing for 2 days and we've got about 6 or 8 inches on the ground outside, and so it's a good day to stay inside and make a video. I have a card for you. The last card I made, I said that I was going to do a series on the poppy material. It's such an enormous suite that there's so many things you can do with it. I thought I would move forward, and this time I'm using the actual poppy stamp set and the poppy dies. And I've got a very pretty project, and so let's just get started. Okay, here is my project for the day. Isn't this just pretty? And I've used the dies. Okay, so I am using these 2 stamp sets, and on this one I will be using, although I didn't do any stamping with it on this one, I'm going to change that up a little bit. I thought it might be kind of fun to have these poppies appear underneath here with my then poppy on top. Then from this stamp set Peaceful Moments, I'm using Happy Birthday, and on the inside, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. So that is the products. Then I am using the Poppy Moments dies, and in this set I am using the centers of the flowers, all of the leaves, all of the outline and the detail. The only thing I am not using, let me put it that way, is this one. And this is very interesting. I looked at this and wondered, I wonder what that does. And so I have cut out a couple things, and I'll show you. I started experimenting with it, and it was kind of a fun thing to mess with. This cuts out this image from a piece of cardstock, so that in a layering piece like this one, you could have this cut out here on the side and maybe down here on this side and put your design across the middle, or you could use it on the inside to cut away and see whatever color you've got behind. I think that one would be kind of interesting. And then I used this as a stencil and did a light coloring and then fussy cut it out of this image that it gives you. And this was a very light hand with Poppy Parade to get an idea of what that would look like. Then on this piece, what I did was I used this image on here and did my sponging, and then moved it down and did it again, and then cut out this strip. And I used a much heavier hand this time with the Poppy Parade. And I think these are both very interesting for ways to think about. So 3 different ways to think about how to use this die. One is as the actual cutout as it's intended, as a way to make a piece that you can then use as a stencil, and a cutout stencil, or like a whole piece across your card kind of stencil. And you could make it longer and go down this way on your card. I think it's very interesting though, and so I thought I would just share that with you. The other die that I used with this is this little die. This is new in the holiday, in the mini catalog, and it's called Stitched So Sweetly dies, and it is awfully cute. It's this little one here, and it's got the stitch detail on it, and I'll show you exactly what I did to get what I used for my card. Then I used some sequins and some designer series paper, that beautiful pattern of designer series paper that has the all over poppies. You can use here and pick up the flirty flamingo, and that's what I did here. So let me tell you what you need to make this card. And I'm changing up my colors today. I'm not going to do it in this soft pink, although I think that's beautiful. I do have some poppies this color in my yard, but I also have lots of poppies in this poppy color, the bright orange. So I used a Whisper White Base 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces of Poppy Parade that are cut 4 by 5 1/4, one for the outside of the card and then one for the inside of the card. Now on this one, I could easily get away with the idea that I could put the light pink on here because you could definitely see your sentiment if you write on this. However, on this one, I cut another piece that is 3 3/4 by 5 to layer over this Poppy Parade on the inside so you could really see your sentiment when you write it. Then I have 2 pieces. Just get these out of here. I've got sequins all picked out here. And on this one, I used some of the DSP in the Poppy Suite. And this piece is 4 inches by 2.5, and this one is 4 inches by 3 inches. And that was so that I could layer these like I did on this one, sort of a little cattywampus on my page, and get that detail. Then you'll need scrap, and I used as my coordinating color for my poppy flowers here. Here's my 2 poppy flowers. And then when I cut out my dies, I used Calypso Coral. So you would need a piece of scrap of Calypso Coral. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the backing on this. So I did it in both the poppy color and the Calypso Coral, and we can make up our minds as we go forward here. I used Pear Pizazz, and then I used Old Olive to cut out the pieces for the leaves, and you can see how this is going to fit on there and give you two-tone on the leaves. It's just gorgeous, so pretty. And so we have this and this piece, and then I have 2 of these little leaves and 2 little things for buds, and then I have cut out these pieces that are they go on this to create a poppy bud, and I cut out 3 of them, 2 of them here just to make sure I had enough to put the poppies on the card. And then I've set aside, because digging around in that poppy sequin mix is a little challenging, so I've pulled out some poppies for that, and then I used my iridescent iridescent sequin mix to get the greens on here. Once you get your pieces cut out, it's pretty simple. This piece can get layered right on here. There's so much dimension, so much going on here that this definitely can be flat on my card. So I'm going to set this in place on my card front with the same border all the way around, and I can do the same thing with this piece on the inside. Now I won't set the white piece in place until after I've done my stamping. So, but these 2 pieces can go in straight away. So this piece can go here. Now on this piece, I want this to go a little cattywampus, but I don't want it to go beyond the confines of the card. So I'm thinking Let me just put a little bit of tape on that. And get that placed so that the edges of that don't go beyond the card base. Then this piece can go on this way. And again, this must be getting close to getting out. In fact, I'm going to switch to the other. This one's full. Okay, so this one can go cattywampus the other way and show a little bit of that background and take it right to the edge of the card so that I can get quite a bit across the card. There we go, like that. I think that's just pretty, and it just adds a little bit. Now, on these pieces, I know people spend a lot of time with the liquid glue on their silicone mats and sponges. That is so messy that I just use my dot runner snail because it really only puts glue pretty much where you want it. And so I think this is a lot less messy and works, I think, just as well. Now I have my poppy piece cut out here, and there's definitely a front and a back side to this. And then this little dip helps me organize where I'm going to put this, because that matches up to this piece here, and I want to run this right to the edge of my die cut so that none of the poppy shows on the other side. Isn't that pretty? And it's just, I just love this whole idea of this die set and the way they put it together. It's absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. I'm going to get some glue, put on my piece, and then I'm going to get that placed on my poppy. And there you go, just as slick as that, it's done. So these two pieces are done, and I have the large center. By the way, these cut out just beautifully on my die cutting machine. So I'm going to set that one down there, and then I have a small one for my smaller poppy piece here. Use my tweezers to help me put that in place, I think. Right across there. Okay. Very nice. All right. There we go. All right. So then I'm going to put my leaves together, and it's exactly the same process. So I will speed this up while I glue these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've got all of my pieces glued. Now I want to go for placement, and I can just sort of dry fit these in place. And what I did here, I did cut this piece off right here at the bottom and just rounded this last leaf off here so that because this was almost too long to put at the top, but if I push this one underneath these two poppies right in here. Easier said than done, apparently. There we go. And lift this up so that this piece is underneath there, with one of the poppies coming out there, this leaf underneath here, and then this one I put down here at the bottom, and I used one more of the poppy buds. Now I could have a second one coming out of the top, but I thought it extended the design a little bit to have it down below. Then I have this for the inside. Maybe I'll just use a smaller one. This and one of these pieces here to go on the inside along with my bud instead of this one. All right, so I think that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to all of my flowers, and again I'll be back in a flash. Okay, this one is ready, and I think I want to put this right down here, kind of fill up the bottom of the card. And then this one I want to set just slightly underneath this poppy right here. Then these I'm doing, I'm putting down flat and then raising the poppies, although I did raise one of them. So as I put that in place right there, then this one right in here. Just going to continue to add a little bit of snail to those, and you'll notice on my dimensionals I put them more in the center because I wanted to be able to have plenty of room to tuck these leaves in and around. Now on this one, I did raise this up on a little dimensional, and I'm going to do that again on here and put one here, and then just put a little tiny sliver of a dimensional on each of the leaves. This one I'm going to tuck under here, and have it be raised. And then these I'm going to just tuck one at the top and one at the bottom. So there's a bud coming out right there, and then one for the bottom, coming right out of these leaves here. There we go. All right, now our sentiment. I did find my sentiment from before, and I've already stamped it. It's on a piece of old olive, and then we'll just have to decide which of these backs looks better, and I think the contrasting color will stand out more than the poppy color that's the same as the background. So this is the one I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do is just cut that right in half, and then I'm going to clip these corners. And I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back of this piece, and then put my surrounds so that they cover and it looks like I've got 2 nested pieces. And if you do it just right, those edges will just kind of disappear behind your other piece. And it looks like they're just tucked underneath. There we go. And that's all there is to that. Now, again, a couple of dimensional pieces on this. And we're ready to go. So this is going to go right up top on my card, and right in here in the contrasting colors. And then I put a little bit of glue on these little leaves, and I stuck one here at the bottom, and then I've got one to go up here at the top, just to give a little separation of that from the card base in the back. But there we go. That is most of our card. Now we have one more piece and some stamping to do on the inside. Now on this, I talked about maybe doing a little bit of stamping across the bottom of this. And so I've got that stamp mounted here, and I'm just going to ink that up, juicy pad, and put down some scratch paper and ink this up. Ooh, I'm a little worried about just how juicy that is. Well, let's just try it. And I thought it might be kind of fun to have just a little bit of this coming across the bottom. There we go. Very nice. Okay, now that's going to take a minute to dry. And the other sentiment I have for up here in this corner, and what I did was I set this down so specifically it wouldn't have to be straight. It's at an angle, so it just goes up here in the corner at an angle, and it says, "Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring." And there we go, nice and crisp. And I don't think that is finished drying. I'm going to try and blot it. Yeah, but it's got little pieces that came off. Let me do it again. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back of this. Now you could, for color, just go ahead and color in those little poppies if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to, because I've got yet that other piece still to go on here, and that is this little leaf. And I don't know, I don't want to completely cover up the oh, that's way too much. Okay, so I guess I am going to have to do this, and that leaf is just too big for that bud. So let me put this piece down on my leaf. And then I'm going to cut this little piece off here on the bottom, and I can use this for another card. And going to just tuck this here. I wonder if that's just too much. Well, if I do that, then I want to color in the poppies. So let me grab my Poppy Parade blends. And this is my dark Poppy Parade. Okay, so that's now colored in the Poppy Parade color. And it looks like there's 2 leaves. So I guess I'll be adding a drop of Old Olive on here, ever so slightly, on the 2 leaves that are on here. All right, so that is the project for today. Let me move these things out of the way. I have my sequins yet to do. Okay, so what I've got are my sequins, and these are from the Poppy Sequin Mix, and then these are the ones from our iridescent sequin mix. And using my take-a-pick tool and my glue dots, I'm going to set these sequins on a glue dot and then pick them up and put them into place. And all right, there we go. That's got sequins on it. That is my project for the day. I am tickled to death with both of these. You'll have to let me know if you have a favorite of the 2, if you like the lighter or the darker. Now, I also have white poppies in my yard, and I have red poppies. So I have red, white, pink, and then the traditional color. And all of them, of course, are absolutely gorgeous. I have lots of different kinds of flowers in my yard, and I love the poppies. They're hard to get going, and once they get going, they do really well. Anyway, that is my project for the day. I'll be back soon with more projects and more tips and more cards. And for February, my prize draw for the month is the Honeybee Bundle out of the mini catalog. And all you need to do to put yourself in the drawing is to place an order on my site, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and or you can get to it through my blog, www.ingenuity.com. And let's see, starting in March, I am going to be doing an online class, and I'll do a quick video update on all of the details for it. It is actually up on my blog right now under online classes, and you've got until March the 12th to sign up for it. And I'm doing the Forever Blossoms suite, and all of the details are there on my blog. And you can now, when my blog was set up, I don't think any of us thought of it. There wasn't a subscription opportunity, and now I've got that on my blog, so you can subscribe to my blog. So again, that's it for me, and I'll be back to talk about that online class in a short video. I'll be back soon, like I said, with other projects. Bye.